Coming up next, we're talking all things Splay display. How's it going, home theater fans? I'm Todd with avnirvana.com, and today we're taking a look at a product made by Arovia. It's called Splay. It's a 2-in-1 projector that ships with a 25-inch screen, and all of that fits down into a very tiny little case that you can carry around. It's really cool. We're going to check it out in depth in this review. Now, just to give you a little backstory on this guy, it was born out of an incubator at Rice University, and it's made its rounds, made an appearance at CES 2024, where it won an award, and it is now available for pre-order at Arovia.com for $999. That's $300 off the MSRP. We have no affiliate status with Arovia, but that's where you want to place your order if you want to save $300. I did find it at B&H Photo, but they have it for $12.99 on back order. Amazon, it's currently listed as not available. So if you want to get those savings, save a little cash, head over to Arovia.com. Now, what exactly are we dealing with here? Well, it's a 2-in-1 projector that ships with a 25-inch screen, and all of that can be collapsed and packed into something that basically looks like a headphone case. It weighs about 2.5 pounds in that package, so it's super lightweight. You can take this guy camping, you can take it into work. Setup is easy. There's a lot of really nice positives. Now, the entire product revolves around this, the projection head unit, and just let's give a little walk around on this guy before we dive into performance. You can see right there in the front, we have the lens. Then around here on the back, we have 2 USB ports and an HDMI port. Now, that USB port on the left-hand side can be used to tap the internal battery on this head unit. That battery can be used to power this projector for up to 4 hours, but if you plug a USB cable into here, you can charge things like your smartphone. Also, you can plug in a power cable for a Roku stick, which obviously you would then plug into that HDMI port, and that HDMI port is the only way that you can get content into this projector, so that's something to keep in mind. And then that little USB port in the middle there, that is used to power the projector and also charge its internal battery. Now, on the top here, we have a little bit of a perforated, feels like a plastic top that's covered in cloth. The speaker to this unit is in there, and then you see we have some buttons right here on the front. On the bottom right-hand corner, we have our power button. Then above that, we have volume. Above that, we have a 4-step brightness selector. Then another button that allows you to switch this projector from front firing to rear firing. And then at the very tippy top there, we have a focused adjustment slider. Now, just to give you an idea, this entire unit right here is roughly 6 inches by 7.5 by about 1.5 inches. And I'd say by the way this feels, this makes up the bulk of the weight of the package. So 2.5 pounds when you're carrying it around in its case. This thing right here weighs just about 2 pounds, if not a tad under. Now, in terms of controls, what you see is what you get. There's no app involved here, and there are no other controls available. So if you're somebody who likes to tweak picture quality, you're out of luck. But if you're looking for something that is pretty much dummy proof, you just plug in the power, you turn it on, point and shoot. This guy will get you there. There is auto-keystoning on board for when you're firing this forward facing onto a wall. And basically what that means is as your projector is facing a wall, if you tilt it up, it'll readjust the picture and try and square it off. It doesn't get it right every time, which is why I would highly recommend taking advantage of this thread here and putting this on a tripod with a swivel mount. So once you kind of dial your keystoning in, if you choose to go that route, then you can use that swivel head to really get that picture nice and squared off. But remember, you're best going straight on to a wall. That way you're not losing any of the onboard HD resolution. Now, when you're not using this unit for front firing, it actually fits into this really interesting screen harness that places it behind the included 25-inch screen, basically turning this thing into a small TV or secondary monitor. And I'm holding it right here in my hands. This is, you know, well made, very durable. The screen feels kind of rubbery. Seems like it can take a beating, but also more importantly, it doesn't crease. So once the head unit's installed in it and you get it opened up, you're left with a wrinkle-free screen. You can see the material on the sides is black. That keeps light from escaping there. The only light that is coming out of this guy is through the screen itself. Now you might be wondering, how difficult is it to get this unit in and out of here and get everything all hooked in and ready to roll? Well, it's actually not that bad. I did it without reading the instructions, but they do include some instructions with the unit. So I would say self-explanatory, and there's a pretty good shot that just about anyone out there can figure it out. Now, I talked about the carry case, and here it is right here. And you can see in the picture right there, the Splay carry case is on the right-hand side, and right there on the left, that is a Bowers & Wilkins headphone case. Not that much difference in terms of size. So this is definitely something that you can slip into a backpack, maybe a camping backpack, slip into a work bag and carry it around rather easily. Also, just carrying it around in your hand, it's not that bulky. It's pretty incredible that they can fit a 25-inch screen into a package that's this small. Now, of course, the second I got this thing set up, I wanted to see exactly what we were dealing with in terms of overall image quality. And you can see right there, there is some clipping in RGB color patterns. Not great, not terrible. I am happy to report, though, that when I looked at grayscale, it looked neutral to my eyes. I didn't see any coloration within the grayscale, so that's really good news. Now, something that's very important to me, it should be important to you, are skin tones. And here's a look at exactly what I was seeing. Now, keep in mind, this is a picture. I think you can see there on the right-hand side, the Splay skin tones are a bit washed out. There's a slight red push. And just to me, right there off the bat, this tells me this is not something that I would recommend using on an everyday basis. So if you're hoping to use this product in your home as, say, a permanent TV, something that you can have out most of the time, but then quickly put away, not the best idea. Just in terms of what you're paying for, you're not going to get the satisfaction of having really nice skin tones. And basically what that means is when you're watching content, TV shows and movies, things are just going to look a little off. It's not like they look really off, but they do look a little off. It's good for moments when you're camping. It's good for moments when you want to throw a screen up outside so you can watch, the football game with your buddies. But, full-time TV watching, probably not the best of options. Now, some really good news here is motion processing is actually a bright spot when it comes to this projector's performance. And I have to admit, I was concerned that there might be too much image processing going on to compensate for a lower refresh rate. And of course, that can lead to some really gnarly artifacts like the soap opera effect, among other things. And that is not the case. I was really actually happy to see a natural judder to the frame rate with this projector. It looked good to my eyes. So things like sports and fast motion and demo clips, they looked pretty darn good. So hats off to Arovia for getting that one right. And you can see here, these are just a couple of clips from the Spears and Munsell disc. One thing to note for me is the black surround to the screen. It almost looks like it's meant to appear as masking, but the image doesn't completely fill up the screen itself. So you're left with a little bit of dead space that appears more gray than black. And for the overall appearance of contrast, it would have been best to have that image filling out this screen completely to the edges, almost like masking is installed. That's not the case here, which is another reason why I would not choose to use this as a permanent display. And then here's a look at it projecting onto a wall. One of the really cool things about this projector is it doesn't need a lot of distance to project a large image. I mean, what you're looking at right there is probably a little bit bigger than its specified throw, which is an 80-inch image. I think that's probably getting closer to 100 inches. Still plenty of brightness there. Maybe not great for HD material, but if you are outside and people are standing relatively far away, it's going to look pretty good. Now, as I said, getting it from its collapse state into its setup state is super easy and basically involves grabbing this plastic ring, shoving it forward, locking out the arms, and basically pulling a zipper and putting this little Velcro strap around the projector head unit, and you're off and running. All right, so to close out this review, I'm going to give you a list of pros and cons. I think this is the best way for me to get this information to you, and you will then be able to make an educated decision as to whether or not you want to bring this product into your home. And we're going to start off with the cons. And con number one, is fan noise. And you can see right here in the bottom of the unit, there are these little slots, and that's where the fan is housed. And that fan runs from the second you turn this thing on until you turn it off. So if you're hoping to use Splay as a secondary monitor on, say, like a work desk and noise bothers you, this thing might drive you a little crazy. All right, so that's one thing to keep in mind. Number two, there is a very slight rainbow effect. So if your eyes are susceptible to the rainbow effect, mine are. I can see it all the time. I saw it a little bit with this guy. It wasn't tremendously bad. It wasn't enough for me to say, no, I would never bring that into my home. But it was definitely there enough that I couldn't use this. As I said before, I wouldn't use it full-time as a TV. That's just another reason why I don't think I would use this as a full-time TV replacement product. Number three, the speaker that's on board this thing is really weak. I mean, it sounds tinny. It sounds like a portable speaker. I really would have liked to have heard a robust nature to the sound, but really what you're left with is sound that tops out about 85 dB, and that's sitting about 4 feet away from this guy. And as you go down in the range of frequencies, when you hit right around 600 to 500 hertz, you lose about 10 decibels off that performance. So things start to drop off fast, which, what does that mean? It means this thing lacks bass. So voices sound thin. If you were hoping to hear music through this, it's not going to sound great. And one last con, I don't think I was ever really able to dial in the focus on this guy when I was using it in a rear projection setting. And here's a picture right here of me using it with my computer. And I tried and tried and tried to get that sharpness in there. And it could be that the resolution, that 1080p resolution, just isn't quite detailed enough to get away with it sitting that close to your face. But that's just something that stuck out to me, that I just couldn't quite get this guy to focus as sharply as I was hoping to get it. Now on to the pros, and we have quite a few to go through, and we're going to start off with build quality. I think they did an excellent job with their choice of materials. The engineering looks thoughtful, and just based on the days that I've been handling this product, I think it can withstand quite a bit of abuse, and that's a lot of abuse with opening, closing, packing it up, putting it away, carrying it around, all those sorts of things. So to me, for something that's this portable, durability is super important, and I think they nailed it. Number two is that versatility I've been talking about, the 2-in-1 versatility, where you have a rear projector, and then you also have that front firing mode. So you can go small with that little 25-inch screen that they give you, or you can go big and throw an 80-inch image up onto a wall. Very cool to have that kind of versatility in one product. Number three, this is a big one for something that's portable. It's easy to set up. Now, I told you earlier, I set this thing up pretty much right away without reading the instructions. If you look through the instructions, it's very intuitive. So again, something that's portable, you don't want to be tinkering around with it for a long time. If you're a person that has trouble setting up tents, you're not going to have trouble getting this thing up and running. So yeah, I think that's just super important aspect of it. Again, it wraps into the build quality and the engineering behind it, but very thoughtful, easy to set up. I really like that a lot. Number four, brightness. You can use this in a brightly lit room, a room that has plenty of sunshine pouring into it when it's in rear facing mode. Now, obviously front facing, you're going to run into the same exact problems that any projector is going to have. And this probably doesn't have enough light output to throw an 80-inch image on a white wall in a brightly lit room and have it look anything near to being good enough to enjoy it. But rear facing into the provided 25-inch screen, it's fantastic. I used it quite a bit during the day, never had any issues. And at night, you have that little brightness control. You can tame it down a little bit so your eyes don't burn out. So yeah, excellent stuff right there, that the brightness comes into play and that you can use it in brightly lit rooms. And number five, it's extreme amounts of versatility. And this kind of wraps into everything I've been talking about. I think this product is perfect for professionals who are out on the road a lot and they do a lot of presentations. They need a secondary monitor to show video clips or slides. This product is perfect for you if you're a camper, a hiker, someone who does a lot of RVing and you don't want to have to carry around a large monitor. This product is excellent for you if you're a tailgater and you'd like to watch a game in the parking lot. You don't want to tote around a large screen or your computer. This product is absolutely perfect for you. And I think the use cases with scenarios like that just go on and on and on. And I think that people fall into those categories will definitely use something like this a lot. Now, on the flip side, if you're looking for that more permanent second screen on your work desk, or if you're looking for a permanent television in your home, you know, I said this before when we talk about things like skin tones and also how the image doesn't completely fill out to the kind of the black masking edges of the screen. There's just some little things about it that would make me hesitant. Also fan noise and the speaker quality, but you know, all of those qualities make me say this is not something that you want to use in a more permanent type status. It's definitely falls into that category of you wanting flexibility and portability. So, you know, I hope that helps you understand how this product fits into the ecosystem of products that we have out there. Definitely very cool. Is it worth the money? $999. If you're looking for something that you can put into a backpack and carry around and enjoy movie nights on the go, I think it's very cool. $999 seems reasonable to me. Again, you can get this for that price right now at Arovia.com. Links are right down in the description. We'll see you next time on AVNirvana.com.